guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find the latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live video of the concerts that we get. Over here, Audio Addiction is going to start to pick up in terms of shows and live video. There's a lot of awesome shows coming around at the end of this month, which is literally next week, and March, first week of March, middle of March, probably end of March. There's just a lot of awesome shows coming around, so I'm really excited. So definitely stay tuned for that. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to hit that like button as well. It really helps me show what you guys like, what you guys don't like, and I try to accommodate that. So definitely keep an eye out for that if you do enjoy my thoughts on things. So without further ado, tonight we're going to be talking about Ghost Key's new record, If I Don't Make It. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Ghost Key, like myself, they just signed with In Vogue record pretty recently, and obviously they released this new record, If I Don't Make It, on In Vogue, which is their first record on, obviously, In Vogue, and I honestly never really gave this band a chance. Not saying that they were a bad band, it just never really, like, I guess, caught my eye or caught my ear. Not saying that I don't like melodic hardcore. I think there are a lot of awesome melodic hardcore bands. I just am not well versed enough to know many of them, and so if you would like to verse me in, melodic hardcore, I would certainly like to know about that, because I'm almost positive there's a lot of awesome bands that are melodic hardcore that I probably should check out. But the first time that I ever heard about Ghost Key, they were on tour with Crucible, which is Dave from We Came as Romans band, and I was actually going to go to that show, but I missed out on it. But I wanted to check Ghost Key out because I know a lot of people were excited about it. Shout outs to Jesus. I know he was plugging them the other day, and so I wanted to kind of give my thoughts on this record, being kind of an outsider that doesn't typically listen to melodic hardcore. I felt like this was a definitely a stretch for me, and something that kind of gets me out of my comfort zone. Not saying this is really too far out of my comfort zone, but just something that I don't listen to on a daily basis. So we'll get into the first track, which is Death in the Family. I would definitely say this one's one of my favorite tracks off the record. It has this really ambient sort of intro feel to it, and then obviously the guitars, drums, all the instrumentals kick in, vocals come in, and it just turns into a ruckus, which is what I expect from hardcore bands, and I love it to death. I think that's something that's always endearing to me about hardcore. It's just that they're just so emotional and they put a lot of thought into it, and lyrically this album is really awesome. I know I don't always typically talk about lyrics, but I felt like that was a really big strong point throughout this whole entire record. It's just lyrically it just deals with a lot of different topics and issues and stuff like that, so I really enjoyed that. Not trying to delve into lyrics too much, but that was something that I'm trying to point out to you guys. So I really enjoy the lead work. I really think it accents the rhythm guitar. Again, guitars are probably the first thing that I listen to or really something that I hone into when I listen to an album for an album review. It's just something that I gravitate towards. Just being a guitar player myself, it's something that is very comforting to me and something that I just gravitate towards in general. So really awesome job with that. I think the lead work is some of my favorites in terms of melodic hardcore, so which isn't too many, but certainly not something to be disregarding of. So this track is super menacing, in your face, aggressive, especially after the intro, ambient sort of intro. It really kicks in. I like the two vocalists. I don't know if it's one of their guitar players, their bass player, somebody else in the band, but I like to play off of that. I would certainly like to see that more throughout this record. I know it wasn't really apparent too much in certain parts. There is, but that would be really cool to see, like, more of a back and forth of that. That would be awesome. And I think this is a great opener track. It kind of gets you in the mood for, what it's going to sound like and what you can expect from it. So we'll move it on to track number 2, which is Indecision. I think this was one of their more recent singles. Again, I told you I'm not really too involved with Ghost Key. I just knew that they were releasing a new record and I wanted to give it a check out. But it was really awesome. I think it was, again, one of the singles that I listened to when I first found out, or when I found out about Ghost Key. And I really love the guitar riffs. I'm a really big fan of those, like, really hardcore, in your face riffs. I would love to see, tentatively, maybe a Ghost Key Gideon tour. That'd be madness. That would be awesome. So if Ghost Key or Gideon, if you're watching this, just saying, it could happen. Just saying, that would be sick. So anyway, I really like the melodic feel of a lot of these tracks. I think it's something that, to me, obviously that's something, a part of melodic hardcore. Obviously it's in the genre description, but I feel like it's something to point out because I love the balance between something like melodically delicate versus just that really brutal, in your face, like, hardcore, obviously, guitar. And I just like the mesh of the two. I feel like it's like, light meets dark kind of a thing, yin versus yang, that sort of a thing. So I think they really play very well together in that. And that breakdown at the end just hits real freaking hard, to the point, to the bones. And that's why I love hardcore a lot. Just for that reason alone, just hits you just right in the soul. So really enjoy that, and I like that this track sticks close to the hardcore roots of hardcore music. It's what you expect. Like, it's nothing more, nothing less, maybe a little bit melodic parts, but again, it's something that's just hard hitting, in your face, and awesome stuff. So really enjoyed that. Track number 3, Ache. I really like the guitar intro with just the vocals and the guitar. I've always loved that pairing. I think it's the same with certain other pairings I can't think of because I'm still kind of sick, but I just love that pairing together. I think it brings out some, like, emotional strain in your mind, at least for me. So I really enjoy that. I like the nice break in the bridge. I think it shows, again, more melodic elements in the band. I like that it's not just straight, like, like, just hit you in the face with a ton of bricks and then have, like, no, like, have some, like, sort of ambient pieces. I like that they break it up. They have some different things that, again, keep to those hardcore roots, but also have those melodic elements where you can kind of breathe. So I think that also goes with a lot of great songwriting as well, so I think that's something to point out. I also love the yell sort of scream technique towards the end of the track. Definitely something that I would like to see more in the future tracks of Ghost Keys. Certainly something that I enjoyed. I know that's become a common occurrence in metalcore, hardcore, that sort of feel, but if certain bands, hit it just right, I feel like those bands can carry that flame on, or that torch on. And I feel like this track is probably the more straightforward sort of track, but again, really hard hitting, really great stuff from Ghost Key. So we'll move it on to track number 4, which is Solstice. I like this sort of, like, snare roll. I don't even know if I'm saying it right because, again, I'm not a drummer, but that was something cool that I picked out. And I think, again, it kind of breaks up the monotony of tracks. I feel like for me in hardcore, sometimes it gets very, I don't know, it gets very apparent that some of the intros sound very similar to the others, and then some tracks bleed into other tracks. I like that there is elements of each track that make it different, and then obviously tracks that kind of sound familiar and stuff like that will come out and will rear their heads, especially if you're, listening to it multiple times. But again, this is another track that just comes out swinging. It's a really hard-hitting track. Again, what I expect from Ghost Keys. I really like the guitar leads in this track. Again, I'm going to say it a million times, but it's something that I pick out a lot. And yeah, in any review for that matter. But definitely, I like the melodic elements, and it's something that I really focused on. I also like this sort of spoken word part in the bridge. I feel like that's definitely a different iteration of Ghost Key, and I like that they added something different. Almost feels reminiscent of Silent Planet, which is ironic because they're touring with them now. And I think the ending kind of transitions really well into the next track, which is Dead Man. And I would definitely say this one's one of my favorite tracks as well. I like just the solo guitar at the beginning. Just mono y mono, just one guitar track. I think that's really awesome. Really digging the chorus a lot. Probably one of my favorite choruses off the entire record. And again, I'm liking the ambient lead guitar parts. I feel like they add this sort of atmosphere to an otherwise, like, if you took out the ambient parts, I felt like it would feel very bland. So I like that they're adding that spice, that little, a little bit of salt everywhere. I like that they're adding that sort of flavor of Ghost Key into their own style of hardcore. So definitely really enjoy that. We'll move on to track number 6, which is Embrace. This one is another one of my favorites. Also, if I sound pretty stuffy, it's because I am still kind of getting over a cold, but I'm going on a tangent. I probably shouldn't. But anyway, getting back to Embrace, I think this track kicks right in, just like a lot of these other tracks. It's just 0 to 100 in like 0.5 seconds. They just slam you to the wall. I like the really back and forth of the vocals. I like to play off the two vocalists. I don't know, obviously they have a lead vocalist, but I would certainly like to see more of that play, certainly in the next record, without a doubt. And then I like the lead up to the chorus. I think it's really cool and unique to hardcore music, at least in my opinion. And I really love the breakdown and bridge. I think it, again, just hits like a freeloaded truck, and that's what I love about hardcore, is just in your face, gut punching goodness. So really enjoy that. And I really enjoy the ambient leads. I feel like it just adds a uniqueness to each one of these tracks. And I know I keep pointing it out, but it's definitely something to be noticed of, because it just adds this sort of element to the track. And if you've listened to these Ghost Key tracks, I would definitely say that if you didn't have them, would they feel less special? Like, you get what I'm saying? So I feel like they have a lot of emotion behind it, and certainly vocally, but instrumentally as well. I feel like that wouldn't add as much weight to it if it didn't have that. So definitely one of my favorites. But we'll move it on to track number 7, which is Dying to Live, another one of my favorite tracks. I like that they went more of a softer side towards the intro of this. I think it's really awesome. I think their lead vocalist has this sort of Sam Carter sort of yell sing in the chorus. I would definitely like to see more of that. That would be awesome. Sam Carter is one of my favorites from Architects. But that was definitely some correlation that I picked up on pretty instantly. But I would definitely like to hear more of that. I know there aren't too many, to me, in my opinion, I don't think there's too many bands that kind of hit that just right, other than Sam Carter. But I feel like they did an awesome job of that. So that's something that I enjoyed. Maybe not everybody enjoys that. But this one, again, hits like a truck. A lot of these tracks hit just like in your face, and that's what I expect from hardcore bands, is just in your face, emotional awesomeness, which is awesome. And I just really like the vocals and guitar solo in the bridge, and just that build up to the end. Just I mean, this one's definitely, if not my favorite off the entire record. It's just man, it's just an emotional, just time bomb. So I really enjoy that a lot, as you can tell. Probably, again, my favorite track off the record as a whole. So we'll move on to track number 8, which is Attention to Detail. Going 3 for 3. This one is another one of my favorite tracks. Again, I feel like it hits like a truck. A lot of these tracks, again, hit like a truck. If you haven't gotten that message already, I should just put it across the screen, pretty much. This is what you're gonna get, but in the best way possible. I like that more of the melodic elements show their face in the chorus, while the verses have more of that just gut-punching goodness. And I think it's cool to see the comparison between the sort of softer parts and just a really heavy ruthless sort of parts. I think that obviously goes with really great songwriting, and I like that it almost creates a cool comparison between the two. It feels I wouldn't say it feels like two totally different songs, but I feel like they kind of bridge together very well in like the best way possible. So really enjoy that. I really enjoyed the bridge a lot. Just again with the vocals and the drums, I think that's something that to have like a build up and just the suspense of it. I really enjoyed that. And getting back to the ambient parts, again, that's just something that is apparent, and I don't need to say it again, but you know what I mean. And drum wise is probably my favorite track. The drumming on this track was impeccable without a doubt, and it's something to notice for sure. So we'll move on to track number 9, and we're going for 4 for 4, man. Downpour is another one of my favorites, without a doubt. I think the leads are on point without a doubt. I think the space in the track is really awesome. Again, I think that goes a lot with the melodic elements. It's very spaced out. It's very thought out. Very just thought provoking and stuff like that in terms instrumentally terms. But yeah, I really enjoy that. Again, it has a very Architects feel chorus to it. I don't know if they're fans of Architects, but it definitely feels like it to me, and that's something that I picked out. So I'm really excited for that. I love Architects, so it's cool to see that they are affecting other genres outside of metalcore, which is awesome. And I think that a lot of bands obviously do that, but that's just something I'd like to point out. I like the build up. I think it was pretty awesome, but I feel like this track, it didn't really amount to anything. It just really got really intense, but it just fizzled out. And I think that was my only gripe about this track, besides just the overall feel. I think up until that point it was really awesome, but I felt like the build up didn't really come to like a climax or anything. So I felt like it dissipated pretty quickly, and that was something that I really didn't like about that. So the last track number 10, the title track of the record, If I Don't Make It Out, again, 5 for 5, favorite track. I really like the dark undertones of this track. I felt like they should have expounded upon it more in this album without a doubt, especially considering the sort of emotion and lyrically they put into it. I feel like if they went in a really dark direction, this might even be one of in the higher echelons of my favorite records of this year, just for that reason alone. But I would definitely say this one and the other one that I mentioned earlier are probably my two favorites. I can't remember just because I'm sick, like I've been mentioning a million times. But definitely those two. I felt like the dark undertones kind of took this band to a different dimension, in terms sonically, in terms of that. The bridge break goes hard. I think probably the hardest track on the record without a doubt. And then you can really tell the emotion in this track more or less than any other track on this record. You really can feel it in your bones. I was getting goosebumps without a doubt. Definitely one to check out. I think, again, it's a toss-up between those two, but I don't know, the title track, it's really tough for me to pick. Again, the ambient layers, I think they add to the overall feeling of just emotional, like, distress almost. So I think sonically this is my favorite track without a doubt. Just has this sort of just gripping feeling to it. So and I think it's a great way to end the record. I don't think they could have really managed it any better. I really enjoyed this track a lot. Again, one of my favorite tracks off the entire record. So my pros and cons on it: sometimes it feels a little bit stale at some points, and maybe that was after a couple listens, but overall I would say that it's a really solid record. There's a lot of pros to be had about it. Like I like the ambient sort of feel about it. and just the overall hardcore vibes that I get, and just the overall emotion to it. I feel like this album's very emotional. I'm sure it is. I've heard, them doing live things about how emotional this record was, so you can definitely tell, especially in the last track, the title track. It just has this emotional grip to it, and it's certainly worth checking out if you haven't already. And if you can pick it up, first week sales mean a lot to bands. I'm definitely gonna go pick it up. I didn't pick it up, but this gives me a reason to pick it up without doubt, because if they make an awesome record like this, I will continue to support these guys, because it's really awesome stuff. So my overall rating for this record would definitely be an 8.6 out of 10. I think it's one that you should definitely go check out. Is it in my favorites yet? It's maybe a little bit too early to tell. Not too many spins in the whole year yet. Obviously, we're still very early on, so we'll have to see once December, November comes. But really solid record from Ghost Key. Go pick it up if you haven't already, like I said. And let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the new Ghost Key record. I would certainly like to know. And if you have any other melodic hardcore bands you'd like me to check out, I will certainly give them a spin as well in my free time. And yeah, also if you support what we do, we have a merch store. I make sure to leave a link in the description as well. If you would love to pick something up, that would be amazing. And thank you for the support. Thank you for getting us to over 40K views. 50K is literally not that far away, and it blows my mind every day when I look at the computer. So definitely stoked for you guys. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot, and I'm really stoked for March and April and just the next couple months. It's going to be amazing. So I'll be talking with you soon. So talk to you later. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.